I have a lot of really cool friends who do a lot of really cool things. I wanted to make it a goal to sit down with these friends and spend about 15 minutes or so getting to know them better and find out about their past, present, and their future. The result is this show. My name is Grant Baciocco, and this is 15 Minutes With. Beth Geiger, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Beth is an improviser, an actor, just an all-around creative thing. A writer. You are, and let me say this, you are an entrepreneur because since I first met you, you kind of had your own business. You were running your own business. And what I think was interesting about this business, it's sort of, and I'm not saying this in a mean way, it's sort of a selfish business because you were running like casting workshops, right, for television shows. But by running that business, you were getting great advice for casting, right? I would assume.
Right, and getting called in to audition.
Right. Yeah,
Not that they were, that's not part of the process. That's not what the companies are about at all.
Right.
But it's just building that relationship, that friendship. With the
and
casting.
how long did you have that company?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah. We just sold it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wanted to go to. I never got to go, but I mean, they always just seemed amazing. It was just like, oh my gosh, this seems like something you could learn a lot from.
Oh, I did. I learned a lot, and it helped too because it was a lot of cold reading. Just recently, I had an audition, and I didn't even know I had an audition until 2 hours prior. I sat down to drink my tea and sat in front of my computer, and I looked at my email, and I went, wait, what? I have an audition? I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I had to make choices very quickly, and it helped, and I ended up booking the job, but that's it helped.
Yeah.
You know, cold reading and just making those choices very quickly.
Yeah, and I should have set it up better, but this was casting for like television and movies and things like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm just for the people at home who are wondering.
Yeah.
And how did you want to start? Like, how did you get the idea of like, I'm going to start this business?
I was at a casting workshop with my best friend Suzanne and our business partner too, and we were surrounded by other actors and. We all paid $39. It might have even been more money than that. And I just thought, wow. And everybody was all tense and scared. And we were like cramped into a room. And I just thought, you know, we could do this and make it a lot better and make people feel comfortable. And that way they give a great performance. And she was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I want to focus on my acting. And I was like, okay. Following week, we're at the same place again. And I'm getting even more frustrated because you could feel the energy. Everybody was just stressed out and nervous. And so was she. And then she got a little agitated with the person that was running the place. Mm-hmm. And then I said to her again, we really could do this and do it better. And she's like, yes, we could. And so, like, we had no idea what we were going to do, but we just did it. Like, within, I guess, after that workshop, it took us 3 weeks and we had our first workshop.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was just, we just winged it. We were just like, okay, let's just do this, do that. And it sounds like it was very easy the first year, I have to say. But then all these laws came out and you had to get bonded and everything else. And then it started getting a little bit more work. But really it was, it's interesting because when we sold it, the guy who took over, we were trying to show him everything. And to us, it was so simple. It was like, okay, you do this, do that. It's done, you know? But I realized we learned slowly throughout the years what to do. Whereas with him, he just was like thrown everything. And it was like, okay, learn it in a month. Because then we're out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was interesting to watch his process. How he took over and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Well, so you started that business because you were an actor and you found a need or you found a way you could do it better. But so let's talk about the acting. When did you? At what age were you like, I want to do acting or I want to be in entertainment? I want to be creative.
Okay, so I'm a late bloomer. It wasn't until I was 25. Mm-hmm. Before that, I thought I was going to be a dancer. And then after that, I wanted to be a photographer. And so photography was my big interest for many, many years. And then I just had a feeling, I was just like, I want to go take an acting class. So I dragged my friend Rob, and I made him take the class with me in New York. And it just came so natural, and it was just such a high, and I just couldn't wait till the next week to be there again. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And when I told my mom, she was like, oh, acting. Okay. But yeah, that's when I realized. I was like, that's it.
But the two other pursuits you talk about, dancing and photography, both of those are very creative pursuits. You know,
right.
as they're in different ways, but they're so you were always interested in creative stuff.
Yes,
I would say
it's funny because my whole family's like that.
Yeah.
And so growing up, I just thought everybody, you know, every time the family all got together, they all sang and played instruments, and you know, or you know, just put on shows and stuff. And then when I remember, because every year my family goes down to the Jersey Shore, and I'm from Jersey, and not just my immediate family, but like all my cousins and aunts and everything, they all come over, and my cousin has a book of songs, and we all sing songs, and so you have the book. He has like a couple of different copies, so everybody can sing. And I at the time I was dating this guy, and I brought him, and he was just like, what are we doing? I'm like, yeah, we're all gonna sing. And it was like such a joy, like we were all so excited, and he was just like, this is crazy.
It's the family jamboree.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, and then I started dawning on me. I was like, I guess not everybody does this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's good. So you're, so a lot of people in your family were artists, and so influenced you. Would you say?
Yes,
or at
and
least
that was one of the reasons why I didn't go into acting, because my brother is an actor and my sister's an actor. My other sister is a musician and songwriter, and she's an artist, like she draws and stuff. And my rebelling as a kid was not going into acting. I was like, no. I'm going to be a dancer. Yeah. And then I was like, no, I'm going to be I don't even want to be seen. I want to be behind the scenes. So I'm going to be a director and photographer and then I just
threw that all out the window.
Yeah. All out, completely. I still do photography here and there. Like I do enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
But it's more of like my own passion, like my own little thing. Like I'll take photographs of stuff like
right.
But not like where someone goes, okay, you have to get paid because we want you to do this and do that, you know.
Did you go to like any? I mean, I know you said you went to acting classes, but did you go to any like university or something for any sort of creative arts?
I did. I ended up graduating from Cal State LA.
Oh, okay.
For theater and dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I did start in New York. I went to HB Studios first. And then I went to San Francisco because I moved to San Francisco. And I was going to college there, but then I took acting classes outside of college because college doesn't really teach you acting. It teaches you more about building sets and the history of acting and all
I was a theater major, so
yeah.
I know what you're talking about in
right?
the Cal State system.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's, I thought, they don't even teach improv classes, or no, they don't. At least my school didn't even have an improv class. I was like, wow. So I had to take classes outside of the school. And then when I moved to LA, I just didn't have the time to take acting classes. I went to Second City. That's what I did. So I was in college and I was going to Second City at the same time. So, I also realized, I said, that's what I want to do, is I want to make people laugh.
Yeah.
You know, as an artist, you have a choice of like how you want to portray yourself and how you want people to see you and your art. And I'd rather make people laugh than cry.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And also the whole other thing too was, I always said, I want them to leave the theater either thought-provoking, which can happen with laughter, or just, and thought-provoking could be like, oh my gosh, I just had the best time of my life, or oh my gosh, that was so great to laugh like that, or oh my gosh, I was laughing, but that story was told something, I'm going to start looking at my life differently. Who knows? But that's kind of what I always try to strive for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're acting, and you were just recently, on a television show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to talk about, what was that like? Was it, because I've never done that. What was that experience?
It was, I've been on other shows where, okay, so this is the odd thing. When you if you're not a series regular and you're doing, co-star or guest star, you're visiting somebody's home. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that could be really nerve-wracking because you never know if they're going to be really nice, because it's not just the hairstylist and the makeup and the set crew and everybody, the director. It's just everybody you're hoping is going to accept you. Besides, because you already got accepted by the casting, and you did already get accepted by producers and directors. But sometimes when they're on set, they're not going to be the friendliest because time consuming. It's all about money,
Yeah.
So I have been on sets where I wasn't, it's like, okay, Beth, great. Stand over there, say your lines. Okay, good, bye. This set, they were the nicest people. I couldn't believe it. I was like, everyone just kept on coming up and be like, hi, Beth, I'm so-and-so. Nice to meet you. Just people you would never think. Like, even the guy who, and I'm forgetting the name of what they do. It's what the people that location manager. Mm-hmm. He even came up and he's like, "Hi, I'm so and so, and you are," and I'm like, "I'm Beth." He's like, "Oh yeah, you're doing a scene here, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm the location manager. Nice to meet you." I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Wow!" Everybody was so inviting, and then other times, sometimes I'll be on set and the director doesn't even come up and say hello to you. The second AD came up and he's like, "Hi, Beth," and I have terrible names, but he's like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm the second AD, it's nice to meet you." And I'm like, "Oh, nice to meet you too." And then the director came up and he's like, "Hi, Beth, I'm Jason, I'm the director." And I was like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you,"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, let's just do it." It was like very quick. I waited 2 hours to do my shoot. And it took maybe 20 minutes to shoot it. Mm-hmm. It was very quick, but everybody it was really great. And it was nice too to be on set and the fellow actors were like, "You are really funny." I was like, in between takes, I was like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're an actor and you act in other things, in other people's work, but you are also a creator and you're a writer and
yes.
You do your own things. So let's talk about your writing and the stuff that you work on.
Yeah, I'm writing. I'm actually writing 2 pilots, and I have an idea, which I haven't started on it yet, on a feature film.
Oh wow!
About a Dracula.
Oh.
Yeah, or
Spoiler
vampire.
alert.
I should say more vampire. What?
So Twilight. Basically.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
It's these young teenager.
Actually, no. I would love to say the premise, but I'm afraid that
No.
Yeah. But it's a comedy, so it's not going to be
right.
like that. Like,
wait, Twilight wasn't a comedy?
Exactly.
But you mentioned, you told me earlier that you are writing with other people.
I am.
Things. Because I think for me that is difficult to do. Like I can write on my own for hours and hours and write my own stuff, but what's it like working with other people?
I actually love it, and I've been asking. I prefer writing with people. I mean, I could write on my own, but I like bouncing off ideas. I think it is because I started acting in theater, so to me it's always like a family thing, and I love that. And everybody's contributing and stuff. I just absolutely love that. So writing with other people, and it's really hard to find those people. Because I've written with a lot of people and then it just fades out and we don't do it anymore. Whereas these guys, I met them at Groundlings. We've taken Groundlings class together. And it was so funny. The first day, right off the bat, we just all connected. Mm-hmm. And so I had mentioned to them, I was like, yeah, I want to write. I wrote this pilot Penny's Complex. It was going to be a web series, but now we're going to make it into a pilot. And so I said, yeah, I'm working on that and stuff. And they were like, oh, we would love to write with you. And I was like, okay, but Penny's Complex is already like my little baby. Let's write something else. So we sat down and we just came up with a couple of different ideas. And then I think I was the one. We had one idea, which we still might write for. But then this idea, I was like, oh, because I do write. Everything I write for me intended to be the lead.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's called Rough Start, and it's actually really, really funny. And so I really do enjoy writing with them. And it was a rough start in the beginning too, because you get together and what you do is you end up talking a lot, you know, until finally I was like, okay, let's get something on the papers, right. You know. So it's been really a pleasant. And we haven't written for a little while because of the holidays. Right. So, but we talk every week about stuff and everything else. And plus, we're hoping to get this mentor who has written a couple of not even pilots, TV shows. And he wants to mentor us. So we have our stuff there. So we're kind of waiting on that to see what he says. And then we're going to get back in there again.
Well, let's talk about, I want to talk about, as we're wrapping up here, your creative, just like when you sit down to write, do you, how does it go? Like, do you get up every morning and write? Do you write just whenever the spirit strikes you? Do you have a writing regimen that you follow?
I really wish I did. I really do wish I had that. No, for a lot of times it's, at odd times throughout the day. I just recently, about 6 months ago, when I come up with an idea, I'll write it down. So I have a phone where I can actually write on it and stuff, which I love. Right. So I have tons of notes of ideas, sketch ideas, movie ideas, TV shows, whatever. And then, so really it's all about just me getting inspired to do stuff. And being open to that also. My whole life is kind of like that. It's sort of, what inspires you, because something can inspire you like the craziest things. Sure. And then you're just like, I got to sit down and write that. Right. At least start writing it, because you always go back. And it's funny because I was cleaning out my all my cabinets and stuff, like I had all my writings, and I was like, oh, I gotta go back to this is a great idea and stuff, so one advice: never throw away anything, because it's really great to see that again. To even just be like, it might be the stupidest idea, but for you to go, oh, I know why I came up with that idea. That's where I was in my life at that time. Look how much I've grown. Right. Or look at that writing. I would never write like that again. I'm such a better writer now. It just. Yeah. Yeah. So I never throw any of that stuff away.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, if people wanted to go find you online and stalk you, where could they go to check out maybe your work or your website or whatever?
My website is bgeigerful.com or bgeiger, either one. It's B and then GeigerFul.com or just B Geiger, BGEIGER.com. And the pilot for Penny's Complex is actually on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So you can actually see that too.
Let's search that.
Yeah, and then I don't even know what my YouTube, because on my YouTube has all my character. I shot a couple of character stuff on there, and all my comedy stuff is on there. And I guess it's B Geiger too.
I'm sure if people search Beth
Yeah,
Geiger,
yeah,
it's gonna come
exactly.
up.
Yeah.
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 Well, Beth, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. I
Yeah,
appreciate
it was fun. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
And that was 15 Minutes with Beth Geiger, recorded in January 2016. If you'd like to find out more about what Beth is up to, you can visit her website at www.bgeigerful.com. That's www.bgeigerful.com. I'd love to hear your feedback on this episode. Feel free to get in touch via email at grant@throwingtoasters.com or via Twitter, where my username is @toasterboy. 15 Minutes With is a production of Saturday Morning Media and is made possible in part by the Saturday Morning Media Patreon patrons who've gone to www.patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and made a pledge for as little as $1 a month. Huge thanks to Patreon patrons Shay Stewart, Mer Lafferty, Jeff Peterson, Dale Gadania, Stephen Staver, Jackie Klimo, Melissa Crawford, Chuck, Matthew Wayne Selznick, Dave Slusher of the Evil Genius Chronicles, Mike Coughlin, Dorothy Baciocco, John D., Kathy Crawford, Brian Greer, Carrie Whitney, Chuck Tomasi, Chris Foster, Stephen Ing, Clinton of ComedyForecast.com, and Vicky DeVries. If you'd like to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and make a pledge of your own. Or, if you enjoy the show, tell a friend or leave a review on iTunes. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon. This podcast is copyright 2016 Saturday Morning Media, Grant Baciocco, executive producer. All rights reserved. www.SaturdayMorningMedia.com.